G.I. Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It's time for another G.I. Joe toy review, and today we're going to be finishing up the month with Sergeant Savage. We are going to be looking at one of his teammates, Dynamite. This is version 1 of Dynamite. This guy is pretty cool. I like this one. He seems to be one of the more rowdier characters in the bunch, if I can remember right from the cartoon, and just the name Dynamite. He's the saboteur of Sergeant Savage. He was released in 1995, and the screen does not like to stay on for more than 15 seconds. So I'm constantly having to turn it on, so I have to adjust the screen time on it. He was released in 95 as a part of the Sergeant Savage and Screaming Eagles toy line. He came with a handgun, a knife, a helmet, ammo box, machine gun, tripod, missile launcher, and missile. His body mold was used for the Urban Attack Dynamite. I'll show you a picture of the Urban Attack since I do not have him carded. I had opened him up a long time ago and reviewed him. It's been at least 4 years ago since I had reviewed him. This guy's original retail price was $4.95. Urban Attack was version 2 of Dynamite. So let me pull up his pictures. I think he's the cooler one of this character. He comes in urban camo, and he rides on a motorcycle. And he comes with a decoder ring. So it's thinking. Yes. This thing takes forever. This isn't a very good picture of him. But this is what he looks like carded. Pretty cool. Rather generic little motorcycle that he comes on. But very cool. I like when action figures come with a little vehicle. It's like you get two things for the price of one. You like who am I trying to think of? Stalker version 2 came with a kayak, so you're getting two things for the price of one. You're getting an action figure and vehicle. Okay, here he is, a better picture of him with the motorcycle. You can see the decoder ring is strapped to his back. Not a bad picture at all, with him all set up on that. Pretty cool guy. That's my favorite version of him. And that one also sold for $4.99. So not a bad deal at all with that. These guys, I do recall seeing out on the shelves, and why I didn't grab those. Again, I didn't want to invest money into them. I was more interested in Star Wars and Sergeant Savage at that time had soured in my mouth as far as G.I. Joe went, because these were not G.I. Joe to me at the time. I was a 3 3/4 inch guy, and that was it. I I just couldn't dig these. I had purchased the one with the videotape. I had played with it. I put the weapons in in his hand, and I didn't like it. I didn't like how he held the weapons. I didn't like the articulation on it, and it just killed the line for me. Um, so it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. Um, there we go. For get everything typed in for Byron's grapes. Um, it it just killed the whole line. So I just stopped collecting G.I. Joe entirely and focused everything on Star Wars, which was incredibly hot during that time, and it has stayed hot. The movies have kept on coming. The toy line has stayed alive, and it has never tapered off. And with everything going into Disney's hands and everything being on Disney Plus, all the mini series that Disney Plus has put out, and all the new movies that have come out, the toy line, I doubt, will ever die out, especially in Disney's hands. They'll just keep on coming up with new things. So we'll always have Star Wars. And I just hope Disney doesn't ever acquire G.I. Joe. They will ruin it. Could you imagine Cobra and G.I. Joe all of a sudden bursting into a musical right in the middle of a firefight? Singing about being friends? I can't. So let's just keep G.I. Joe out of Disney's hands. But anyway, they don't do that with Star Wars. Of course, they do a pretty good job of it, and they keep the firefights pretty cool, and they keep it pretty true to form, because George Lucas said you can't have it unless it stays Star Wars, and I get to be a consultant, so they've kept it pretty true to form. So they're doing a good job with it. I'm pretty pleased with the shows. So anyway, we're not talking about Star Wars and Disney. We're going back into G.I. Joe. So let's go ahead and take a look at Dynamite version 1. I've been chomping at the bit all week to look at this guy. I hope everybody had a very wonderful Christmas. I had to take a break this week. That's why I'm filming today. I just needed that little extra time off, with my mom being down and out of commission right now, feeling a little under the weather. I've been taking care of her. So I just needed a little time for recuperation myself, so I could focus on her. And so I'm shooting this at 3 in the morning. Since I'm a night owl working the night shift. But sorry that this didn't come out sooner, but the holidays, how it goes. But yeah, I had a pretty good Christmas, spent it with my brother and his family, and got to do typical uncle stuff and tease his kids and just have a wonderful time with the family. And it was nice. I enjoy that. That's what the holidays are about, is for me anyway, it's not about the presents. It's about creating memories with your family and enjoying those moments and those special times, and just being together. enjoying great food. My sister-in-law makes killer tamales. Oh gosh, they are. I just blew my diet curve way out the window. Cardiologist said I had to lose weight, and I think I just completely blew my diet out the window, you know, eating like 12 of her tamales, because, you know, they're made with lard. But anyway, yeah, it was great. Had a wonderful time. So I hope you guys had a great time. So let's go ahead and get into this review. Don't have a lot planned for next year. You know how it is. I just go year by year or day by day with these reviews. So let's go. G.I. Joe. Let's go G.I. Joe. Boy, I sound like a stupid toy ad. But here he is. Dynamite version 1. Last time in the package. So let me zoom out a little bit. Take a look at the card art here. More of Joe Kubert's card art shows Dynamite running with a dynamite bundle that is lit, hand grenade in the left hand. Nice little action pose. Sherman right behind him. Said combat cannon shoots. Sergeant Savage and his screaming eagles. Dynamite right there in his bubble. Let's go ahead and flip it around here. There's the P-40 Warhawk. That was available at the time. And the comic here says wood bridge tumbles as an enemy tank rumbles across. Where below Dynamite works feverishly. Just one more nection. Blam. I hope that river below is softer than it looks. And there's the nice little bullet holes in the card. And it says, collect all the screaming eagles, and the bubble is coming off of the stormtrooper. That is funny. He's saying collect all the screaming eagles. You know, go ahead, collect all the enemy. There's General Blitz in his black Nazi uniform, and there's D-Day, Dynamite, Sergeant Savage. And here's the story of Sergeant Savage, if I could get that in focus. There we go. So, in interest of time, I will not read the whole story. And the instructions on how to put everything together. But I don't know any kid that did not know how to do that with the instructions, or without the instructions. These toys are easy to put together, and there are 2 flag points, but you never use the flag points. You just sent in the proof of purchase. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut him on out of the bubble. I'm going to change the blade on this. It's getting to be a little bit dull. And put the card away. Resheath the scalpel blade. And taking a look at the cover on this, they did a double cover type bubble, and they have Sergeant Savage logo on here, double covering the bubble to prevent theft. So we have extra plastic on there, and let's take out the accessories here. That looks like a very similar missile that came with the Iron Stormtrooper. I remember when these action figure trays first started coming out with the Star Wars figures. In '83, they weren't a full tray, they were like a half a tray. Oh, there you go. Yeah, they were like half a tray that would cover their legs. I remember the Gamorrean Guard came with a full tray, which I thought was really cool. Or sometimes they had a little cardboard wedge that went in between their legs. So I would keep those trays. I just thought they were really neat for some reason. I guess it's just a novelty to me at the time. So looking at all these accessories, God, I can't hold on to anything today. Oh, right. Let's get his bipod put together here. We have two separate pieces, so one slides right into the other. Like so. And that's where the machine gun fits. Kind of like Roadblock's machine gun. They just upscaled it. So this is a Browning machine gun. Definitely Roadblock's machine gun. I would say this is a upscale from Roadblock version 1's Browning. And then we have an ammo box. Very generic, no real details on it. A square handle. The only way he could hold it is this way. That way would it stretches out the thumb a little bit, but he gets a better grip on it. Comes with a pistol. This is supposed to be a .45 caliber pistol. Nice little diamond pattern hand grip here. Dovetail on the back to protect you from the hammer slapping your hand. No trigger guard on it. Not a bad design on the pistol. Little hard to get it into the figure's hand, but he does hold it in a very weird way. His missile launcher, he can hold. That's about the only accessory that he can hold in a semi-decent way. It does mount onto his shoulder pretty well. He is a staff sergeant, and the missile does slide right on in there. Locks into place. You see, this is designed to look like a bazooka, and it will fire, hopefully. Yes, it does, and it has some power behind it. Pretty nice. His thumb is stretched out now from that, if you could see that. And he does have a combat knife, not World War II style, as it is serrated on the back. I don't recall any knives from World War II serrated, but I'm not an expert. The handle does have a nice grip on it. And see how well he could hold the knife. Not bad. Okay, and his helmet does fit on his head really well. The steel pot. This is made of a softer plastic, and you could see how it's designed on the inside with these extra notches to help hold it onto his head. Now, taking a look at the figure, let me zoom out here so we get a better look at him. Now, D-Day here is in OD green. He has a red t-shirt under his shirt. He has a red bandana, black hair. They did paint his eyes white, and he does have black pupils. He has a black handlebar mustache, eyebrows, black hair. I like the bandana. That is a very nice touch. A red shirt underneath the fatigue shirt. He has a bandolier with more bullets in it, but he is not carrying a rifle. Bandolier wraps all the way around. And he has an additional 2 belts, one web belt and a standard belt. He has one pouch on the side there. He does have a holster on his left leg that has a strap on it that goes all the way around his leg. He is wearing brown combat boots. His pants are bloused inside the boots, which would indicate that he is airborne. His boots, they do have a nice detail for his laces. Decent knee articulation. Of course, the legs only spread so far. So that weird doesn't have the typical ball joints that we were used to. So when he sits down, his legs spread really weird, and his feet are incredibly wide, which I don't like. That gives him that kind of a goofy look. They're not on an O-ring. They do have a twisting waist, and they stuck with the swivel arm battle grip, and their hands are stuck in this standard pose, which makes it very difficult for them to hold a rifle in your typical battle in a battle grip. And he has one glove on his left hand that is fingerless, gauntlet style glove, which just adds to his attitude of, I really don't care. You know, he is a rough and tough guy. He's one of the Screaming Eagles. They're elite. He's the more rowdy one of the group. So why not just wear one fingerless glove? Really cool action figure. This guy is awesome. I like him quite a bit. Sitting behind his 50 cal is a no can do. Absolutely not. Not with that type of articulation. He'll have to stand up and hold it without the bipod. And that just won't work. It's not with the articulation that they have for these action figures. So, you know, again, what is it with me bumping this camera today? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just leaving those in as gaffes. I'm sorry. Editing is just going to be as it is. Just to show you how much editing I have to do. As there are several of these mistakes that I make throughout these videos, bumping the tripod and the camera and everything else. So I'm just leaving those guys in. So yeah, there are a lot of good things about these action figures, and there are a lot of bad things. They come with really cool accessories that they cannot use, and or they can, but it looks stupid on them. But for a young kid, I don't think they would really care. I mean, this would work if you set it up on a wall and he stood behind it. That would be all right, but he can't sit behind it and use it. That's a fail. Or you could lay him down on his stomach and use it. That would work. The only real accessory that works with him is his rocket launcher, and that one fits on him really well. The helmet, of course, fits well with him. So this guy is a really cool action figure by himself. I do love this action figure. He is neat. I love the color palette on him. The colors are very military. They throw in the red to show the rebellion behind this guy. Other than that, you know, Sergeant Savage is green all the way, and he's very military. This guy is rough, tough, and rowdy, so he's wearing a little bit of red to show that, hey, you know, he's thumbing his nose at the military. So there you have it. That's Dynamite version 1. Great looking action figure. They did a good job with him. I like this guy. Version 2 is even cooler. So Let's get back to the rest of the show. Jeez, I still can't believe I said, let's go G.I. Joe. Sound like a stupid commercial. I'm sorry, guys. I meant to say, let's get back to G.I. Joe. Let's go G.I. Joe. Let's go G.I. Joe. Let's go G.I. Joe. So anyway, yeah, this guy is all right, but the accessories suck when it comes to that hand grip. I mean, if they gave him that regular, if they would have curved the hands, these accessories would work. And the Browning is awesome. I mean, that's if they gave Roadblock, put him in a 4-inch scale, that would be Roadblock's Browning all the way, and that is Roadblock's Browning. It looks just like it in an upscale version. So let's go ahead and get into my favorite segment of Byron's Gripes. I do thank all of you who stuck with me to this point. My algorithm shows that my average watch time is 9 minutes. You guys just stay with it to the review, and then you drop off, and that's cool. That's fine. You watch it for the action figure, and I do appreciate that. Any view time is fine with me, and I do really appreciate that. But those who stay with this video to the end is even better, and for those guys, I thank you very, very much, because I do have things to say, and some of it's chatter, some of it's just wanting to talk to you guys and share about G.I. Joe. But I do Byron's Gripes as a means of entertainment and also education for those of you who are looking to start collecting and you're wondering what a good price is for an action figure. So that's why I started doing Byron's Gripes. I use eBay just for a reference. I don't pick on eBay or the sellers directly. eBay is a very wonderful site. So it's not a direct attack on eBay. It's not a direct attack on the sellers. I do pick on the prices because some of these prices are just outlandish and greedy. Just because it has the name G.I. Joe, it does not mean that it is rare or it is extremely valuable. Yes, there are very rare pieces out there, and yes, there are very valuable pieces out there. Don't get me wrong, there are. But something like this guy, no, they're not rare and they're not valuable. This was a defunct toy line, and sadly enough, it was a failure, and I wish it wasn't. The more I review these, the more I actually start to really like these action figures. They would have done well as their own toy line, I think, if it would have just been branded under Sergeant Savage. I think they would have done well by themselves, not branded as G.I. Joe. I think that was the death nail in the coffin. Because it just killed it for G.I. Joe collectors. And I know they're trying to keep the toy line alive, but when it said G.I. Joe and I looked at it, this is not G.I. Joe. Sorry. For the kids that were collecting it in the 90s, no, it wasn't G.I. Joe. For us 80s kids, it was not G.I. Joe. They were trying to fix it for the new generation, for us 80s and 90s kids that were having children. Well, not the 90s kids, they were still children themselves, but the kids that were born in the 70s, that were raised in the 80s, that were starting to have children in the 90s. No, I mean, this was not G.I. Joe. They were trying to brand it towards those children, and it was just defunct. That's just my theory behind it all. They were trying to compete with all the other toy lines, with Terminator, Ninja Turtles, all the 4-inch action figure lines. So they just killed it. They killed it for one run, and that was it. So, sadly, this line disappeared. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So we have one Dynamite that is carded for $25 and $6 shipping. That is what I would call on the high end of the normal side. I absolutely would not do that. That's just a little bit too much for my liking. That's absolutely no. For an example here, somebody's selling a General Blitz, $10. I would put that on with deal of the day. That is a great price for this. That's an excellent price, but we're not talking about General Blitz here. So going down, boy, there's not a lot of Dynamite here. Here is a boxed Grizzly Jeep, $9.99. Wow. Sergeant Savage just is not selling. I'm trying to find this specific Dynamite. Oh, here's one, but that's up for auction, and he's just bare bones. Okay, here's no, that's Dynamite on a motorcycle. Wow, somebody has an unopened case. Interesting. I like to see those. An unopened case of Sergeant Savage figures, $239.99 or better offer. You know what? I'll put that up a deal of the day, because you're getting quite a few action figures in there. Wow, if I had the money for that, I would grab it. An unopened case, and it comes in a Hasbro box. Let me show you. I'll pull up that picture. Factory sealed case of 12 figures. That's what these boxes, that's what those came in. If you're ever wondering what a shipping container looked like. Isn't that cool? That is awesome. $239 for that. Okay, here's one that is open and complete. $15 or better offer. Here's one up for auction. Don't quote auction prices, because those are so fluid unless the auction has ended. Well, there's not very many of this Dynamite out there. Here's another one. He is just bare bones by himself, $12.50 or better offer. $12.50, and he has no accessories. That's a little bit high for him, but I would try to bargain with that guy to get a lower price for him. Here's another one, $25, $25 carded. Dynamite on a motorcycle. Maybe I should have reviewed that one. But I don't have them on a motorcycle anymore. That's carded. Oh, here's one, bare bones, no accessories, $5, deal of the day. Wow. So we're just sort of learning as we're going here. Here's the whole collection, $299.99. Here's another one. Oh, that's urban camo. Never mind. Well, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of this specific Dynamite out there. At least today, anyway. Doesn't mean that he's rare. There's just not a lot of this one for sale right now. A lot of G.I. Joe Extreme. I guess those came out the following year. I never looked at G.I. Joe Extreme with interest because they're very blocky. They were 5-point articulation, just blocky. It's very uninteresting looking. Okay, here's one. No, again, that's the urban camo. He seems to be the most common one out there right now. And my toy dungeon is very cold. Fitting for a dungeon. It has been cold lately. It's the leaves have finally started changing. It's cold enough for the leaves to change. Normally, they don't start changing out here until February. January, February, but unless you're up north, up in the mountains, and they start changing in your normal season, October, November. But down here in the valley, it's too warm, and they don't change until really late. But it's been cold this winter, so right now it's 40 degrees, and that's really cold for us. There's been frost on the rooftops. So I know you guys in other states are saying, hey, that's pretty warm. But for us desert rats, that's cool. That's cold. Oh, here's one, bare bones, no accessories, $16. Okay, this person originally wanted $46.59 for this guy. You got to be kidding me. $46.59 and doesn't come with accessories. So he marked it down 65% to $16.31. That's your classic, just because it says G.I. Joe, it doesn't make it rare. This person must have found it in a thrift store, knew it was G.I. Joe, but didn't know anything about it. It thought, hey, it's G.I. Joe, it's got to be, oh my gosh. Let's get it. It's got to be really expensive. Here's another one that's carded. Deal of the day, $20.95 with free shipping. A lot of G.I. Joe Extreme. My gosh. Let me show you just how ugly G.I. Joe Extreme were. Look how blocky. And these guys were just stupid. sorry for those of you who like G.I. Joe Extreme. Let's go, G.I. Joe. That was an insult to G.I. Joe, and that's when they were taking the word extreme to the extreme. Here's another Dynamite that's carded, $14.99 deal of the day. Another one, $16 deal of the day. Both the $16 is or better offer. My goodness, there's several pages of it. Several pages. Oh, here's a boxed P40 Warhawk for $179. So yeah, I'm not finding much of it, just a lot of G.I. Joe Extreme, and it's burning my eyeballs out. Okay, here's another one, carded, $22.55 or better offer. Here's a bare bones one that comes with a Leonard action figure, $19.95. I don't think so. Here's one that comes in a group of bare bones other Savage figures in a group of 4, $20.95 plus $15.60 in shipping. That's a definite no because of all the shipping. They're really gouging you on that. Here's one, bare bones, absolutely no accessories, $8 deal of the day. I'm not seeing any accessories for this guy for sale, which is kind of weird. Here's two cases unopened, $400 or better offer. Not bad. Deal of the day. That is really cool. I really like that one. Here is one carded, $9.99, deal of the day. Here is the whole set, $349.99. I don't think so. That is a little bit too expensive. Oh boy, here's another one, $19.99 or better offer. That's okay. It's not the best. There are several pages. Here's one, $9, deal of the day. Now my voice is getting hoarse. Throat's really dry. Here's another one, $14.99. Wow, this is Prototype G, and it's bagged. I don't know what that's all about. A Prototype Sergeant Savage, and it's bagged. I didn't know anything about it, but I'll let you guys look at it. Pretty interesting. $169.99. Haven't reviewed the Combat Sergeant Savage, so I'm sure it'll have something to say about that, but I'm not going to kill you with more Sergeant Savage because I have like 5 or 6 more figures, so I'm not going to do two months of Sergeant Savage. Here's another Dynamite, $14, deal of the day, carded. A lot of him on the motorcycle. Bare bones $14.49. I don't think so. Wow. Boxed Grizzly Jeep, $100. No way, I'm not going to pay $100 for a boxed Grizzly Jeep. $13.53 for a carded, not bad. Put that up with deal of the day. There's several pages. Okay, here's another one, $19.99, high end of normal. When I mean high end of normal, that's what I would pay. Here's one, $24.99. That is, I would not pay that one, but it's an okay price if you absolutely want to get it. But that's just my opinion. Everybody's budget is different, but you could always find it for a lower price, and I've proven that fact. It's not rare. You could easily find it on the aftermarket. But I do suggest that you shop your local vintage toy stores, comic book shops, and thrift stores to help out a neighbor. And you could always find it at a better price, and you're not paying shipping. Here's $124 or better offer with free shipping, and I love the word free. Here's $120, deal of the day. Gosh, almost to the end, and I am to the end. Here's another one, $20, marked down from 24 or better offer, deal of the day. Here's one, $49.95 or better offer. Oh, you must have pulled that one right out of a Tyrannosaurus Rex's mouth to ask for those kind of prices. Wow. All right, my friends, that is it. Sorry that one took so long. That was several pages on that guy. So I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do really appreciate everybody who sticks with me through all of this chatter and through Byron's gripes. I do hope you had a wonderful holiday season and a Merry Christmas. New Year's is just around the corner. We'll be going into, I cannot believe it, 2024. Wow. 2024. Man, remember when I was a kid, I thought the year 2000 sounded cool. I never thought, I'd be living to see 2024. But it's coming around the mountain. But yeah, we're almost a quarter through the 21st century. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Remember, we're in cold and flu season. Wash your hands. That's your first line of defense. We touch our faces up to 300 times a day. It has been proven through science. So your hands are your first line of defense. Keep your hands clean. Scrub under your fingernails when you wash your hands, because a lot of dirt and germs get caught under your fingernails. Remember, be kind to yourselves. That's very important. It's good for your mental health. So, avoid negative self-talk. Be kind to others. You never know what kind of day somebody's having. A little act of kindness does go a long way. And be kind to your animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. So until then, and I just realized Vampire, or Cousin It, this right here. Vampire left his hairpiece hanging up. Yeah. that guy, I don't know about him sometimes. But anyway, you guys, stay safe out there. I want to see you around for many, many years to come. I have so many toys to review, and I hope you're around to enjoy the reviews. So take care. Stay safe out there. See you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. I want to show you just real quick this very nice comic book that was gifted to me by RJ. It's a gift for Vampire as well. So Vampire will be reading it. Very special comic book. Yes, it is a pop-up comic book. How bloody cool is that? So he will be reading that. Very excited about that. It is cool. I read it 5 times already. So anyway, Vampire will be reading that next. So we'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Smile on your face. Have a happy new year. This is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. Last G.I. Joe review for the year. Love you guys very much, and I do mean that. Take care. Bye-bye.